Hi, and welcome back to Pittman's Pumpkin Patch, Pittman's Garden Patch. It's August the 9th, 2013. I figured I'd just give a little small update. I'm getting ready to start doing some harvesting of the pumpkins, some of the pumpkins anyways. You can see right there's my Mr. Wrinkles pumpkin. It's a little windy out here. There's my Mr. Wrinkles pumpkin that I first pollinated probably, I guess now maybe 2 months ago. But when I first, about maybe a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago at the most, is when I started noticing it starting to turn orange. And I figured, well, maybe by the middle of August, the 15th or whatever, it would be then it would be fully ripe and ready. But this thing turned orange pretty fast. It didn't take long at all. I was quite surprised. But things that I've been dealing with here in the pumpkin patch, again, of course, are the squash bugs. Been unfortunately having to deal with them this year. Didn't have to deal with them last year, but I am having to deal with them here. And I found the trifecta of pests for the cucurbits family in my garden patch the other day, a couple days ago or so, and I was very disappointed. I've always had to deal with squash bugs and squash vine borers, which are two of the three nastiest bugs for your cucurbits family of plants. And yesterday, or a couple days ago, I came eye to eye with the third worst one, and that is, of course, you guys probably know, the cucumber beetle. And in my case, it was the spotted cucumber beetle. It comes in striped versions. It was yellow with black spots on it, and I came face to face with it. And before I could grab it, it started, moving around to another leaf or whatever, crawling to the other side of the leaf, and it fell. I don't know if it survived. Its fall was about 3 feet off the ground or so. Probably did. But now that's probably where a lot of these holes are coming from, or beetle activity. So supposedly you could put in, some of these yellow sticky traps, and they supposedly work. I haven't had to deal with that, but I guess I will now. In the near future, get some of those traps and laid out, and and maybe I'll start incorporating that into my patch next year, is adding more of these traps to prevent these plants from getting various holes and things like that in them. Okay, so anyways, that one's ready to harvest. Notice the nice thick green handle. I'm going to zoom in there. Nice thick green handle on this Mr. Wrinkles pumpkin. Don't know how heavy that is, but it's held on the vine without any support. Take you down over here to this pumpkin right there. I thought that one actually started to grow for like 3 days, and now I come out here and I see it turning limey, getting a lime green, and I felt it was getting soft, so it started to grow and then stopped. And I mentioned that in my videos in the past, where that sometimes tends to happen with the Peppo family pumpkins, where it'll start to grow 2, 3, 4 days, and all of a sudden it stops, and then you start seeing a limey yellowy green starting to come in there, or whatever, kind of fading out, and it's starting to get soft. So it's telling me that for whatever reason, the plant said, not going to do that. All right, so that's 2 plants I pollinated that didn't make it. Now here is a third I hand pollinated the other day, 2 days ago, and it seems to be holding. It seems to be growing a little bit, but as I just showed you, we'll see what happens. As you can see up there, zoom in a little bit, you can see that orange mixed in up there with the leaves, and that's my Howden pumpkin that used to be stuck in the squares up there, stuck in the square, and I freed it. So it's ready to come off. This will be my first successful Howden plant ever. I don't know how heavy it is. It doesn't look much past maybe between 10 to 12 pounds, and they're generally between 20 to or around 25 pounds. They're supposedly going to get. Wrinkles, or Mr. Wrinkles, supposed to get between 20 and 30 pounds. Don't know if any of those are going to make it like that. Been slowly coming in here from time to time and clearing out the patch a little bit. You can see a lot of things dying back. and whatnot. And you know, that's the growth, the life cycle of these pumpkin plants and everything. I'll show you some of the other pumpkins I got going on over here. Let's see. Alright, so there's one right there. That's a Howden. All of these on this side of this trellis are all Howdens. So these nice green size one right there that's growing. Okay, I hand pollinated that one a couple days, about maybe 4 or 5 days ago. Oh, you can see this one. I got one hiding under the leaf here. Right there. Now, sorry for the shakiness. Now that actually it's a Howden, but if you'll notice, that used to be my kind of my lime green, my whitish green one that I was really worried about whether that was actually going to make it or not, because usually they start off really good solid dark green color, but this one didn't. But now look at it. It's you see less and less of the lighter green and more of the darker green. So that seems to be doing okay, holding its own. You can see the Howden back there. A little bit different size shot of it. Okay, so let's see. Thought I had another up here growing, but I think that's, sometimes they tend to. Okay, well here's one right here. Here's another Howden. Nice dark green, nice thick stem. Doing pretty good. This white stuff that you see on here is not powdery mildew. That's this diatomaceous earth to try to combat the squash bugs and stuff like that. I got to come out and put some more down. And down here is another pumpkin right here. It's an oddly shaped one. It looks more like almost like a, I don't know, just kind of weird. It's got a rounder top and a skinnier bottom. So it's almost like it got pollinated with something else, cross-pollinated with something else, but that couldn't have been the case, because I hand-pollinated it myself and then protected it from getting pollen from other things. And even then, it would still grow as a normal pumpkin this year. It's just the seeds that you use for it for next year, if you pulled them out of that pumpkin, would be odd shaped. If it cross-pollinated with, say, a zucchini or something like that. I don't think I have any other pumpkins over here, because I don't think that I do. I'm just kind of looking around a little bit. So, and I do have a smaller one that's actually inside the raised bed. It's not really going to grow a whole lot. It's grown some, but it's going to be a run of the litter. And so, you know, got some new growth up here and everything, and where the where the healthier stuff is, and all the rest of the stuff, of course, is just dying back, and it's that time, and so now I'm going to show you over here. These are my, oops, accidentally hit the wrong button. Anyhow, these are some of my Cinderella pumpkins. Notice the more reddish orange coloring on them. Okay, so that's I don't know if something's been chomping on that one right there. You can see some of the scarring. So I'm gonna have my daughter come out here, Piper, in a little bit, and she's gonna either film me cutting it, or maybe I can get her to cut some while I film her. I don't know. So we'll see here in a couple minutes or so. Whoops, got some bees flying around out here. Don't like the bees. Smell the fragrance of, the wind is blowing, and I just happened to catch some good sweet smelling basil. What a nice fragrance that was. Okay, so you can see all the basil just going haywires out here in this all this heat and everything. Things drawing down to an end. You can see my marigolds. Once I got all those Boston marrow squash that used to be in here, Once those kind of just died off and everything, and didn't do started out really great, but just, just I think it sort of came to squash vine borers and things like that. But look at how these marigolds, look how tall that is. And just all the way in there, and it's going all the way up here. And even these right there, those are some more marigolds that have just gotten super tall, and a little bit of tansy there in the background. So anyways, I'll get back with you in just a few minutes here. Hi, and welcome back to Pittman's Pumpkin Patch, Pittman's Garden Patch. Have my daughter Piper behind the camera. Say hi, Piper.
Hi.
And she's just videotaping me as I go to cut some of these Cinderella pumpkins off, and maybe a couple of the one Howden and the one Mr. Wrinkles. So I'm going to go over here, and when you're cutting off your pumpkins, you want to make sure that you leave as much of the stem as possible, because leaving that stem is what's going to help. I got a lot of stuff to cut through here first. Is going to help your pumpkin last longer and not have it rot so easily. So, and I've had, in fact, Piper about 2-3 years ago had a Cinderella pumpkin that she wanted, and she kept that in her room for all the way till about March. It came off for like in November, and she it didn't start to rot until about March. So I mean, that's kind of a weird looking stem. This being in the Maxima family, it's kind of more corky. It's more spongy, corky feeling than it is, like the solid green stems that you see on there. And I'm just estimating, I'd say that's about maybe around 8 to 10 pounds, somewhere in that range, 8 to 10 pounds. Okay, so let me just kind of set this off to the side a little bit, and let's move on to the next pumpkin to cut. And I'm going to have to get inside here to the patch a little bit and do some cutting. Now this is a little bit smaller one, and that's probably, there's some stuff on it, just clean it up later. That's a little small one there. See the bottom, and look on this bottom part here. That's where the female flower used to be. Okay, that was the stem, of course, is where it came out of the vine, and on the bottom, that's where the flower actually opened up, and the petals and everything. So when this was originally back on the vine, when the flower opened up, all the petals opened up, and then inside it had all the stigma, the female parts, and it got pollinated, and then it closed up, and then started growing the pumpkin, and then of course the stem was attached back onto the vine. So the bottom of the pumpkin is actually where the female, where the female parts were the stigma, and where the petals opened up. So this is probably maybe about 3 pounds, 3 or 4 pounds at the most. So not a whole lot there with that one. But it is what it is. And I'll just have to step on in here. And this one, it actually was already off the vine, and it's rotting. This one's rotting, so this one's going to have to go on the trash. Yeah, you can smell it. And it's getting soft and everything. So that's one pumpkin that's not going to be coming into my house. Okay, so then we'll go over to the other side here, and finish cutting off these last couple ones over here. This one's already come off the vine, and yeah, that one looks like it's already, yeah, this one's no good too. This one's rotted.
Ew. Ew.
Yeah, you can hear the Sounds of an 11-year-old girl. Ew. So, yeah, that one's not making it. Let's call this one bowling. Oh!
Oh, gross!
Oh no!
Ew!
Yeah. And if there's any seeds in there, they might come up next year in
Oh,
that spot.
in the mud?
Hey, yes they will. Yes they will.
Oh, it's on the sheet.
Alright, so I'll snip this one off.
Well, that's a long stem.
And what you want to do is you don't want to grab pumpkins by their stem and hold them by their stem, because they can come off and they could come off, they'll come off and they'll break. I'm actually going to snip that right there, and done with that. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. This one's pretty good. That'll ripen up a little bit more as we go along. But this one, Cinderella pumpkin, and I'd say probably about 7 to 8 pounds, I guess. Alright. And I'm gonna come follow me over to the other pumpkins that are ready to come off, the Mr. Wrinkles and the one Howden. Of course, we'll leave all those other ones on the vine and let them grow, and they should grow all the way through September, and into maybe even a little into October. So this one's nice and hard, and we're going to go ahead and snip this one. I'm going to go ahead and snip some of the other stuff away from it so I can get into it a little bit easier. Ouch. Just got scraped in the nose. Alright, so let's go ahead and there we go. And just do a little cleanup up there. And a little snip here, a little snip there. Here, snip there, snip, everywhere, snip, snip. Alright, so I'll do a little more cleaning up in the house, but you can see it got scarred up a little bit and everything. I'd say that's somewhere close to about 10 pounds. Again, between 8 to 10 pounds, Mr. Wrinkles.
The heaviest one yet.
Should be, this one, they're supposed to get between 20 to 30 pounds, but that one obviously didn't quite make that goal. But the fact that I'm getting any this year is truly a blessing there. Now I'm going to get up on trip plane here, and I'm going to go up to the Howden up here, and this is going to be a little trickier because this one's on the opposite side of the trellis, and getting a hand under it to hold it up, and to also be able to see what you're doing, and then get the pumpkin back over the trellis. There we go. Now I'm going to just have to slowly feed it up. Get my hands underneath that one, slowly feed it up over top. Without dropping it. There we go. And nice, good, thick, green, prickly handle. That's actually, I'd say that's lighter than the Mr. Wrinkles. So I'd say, probably about maybe 7 pounds. So well, let's see, let's do a comparison. I don't know. This one, the Mr. Wrinkles here in my left hand is actually is taller, but this one in my right hand, the Howden, seems to be a little bit more dense. And by dense, I don't mean dumb. I mean it has more density to it. It has packed with more matter, solids and liquids, and I'm sure some gas in there too. But it seems to be, I'd say, either about the same or maybe just a little bit heavier. So even though it's smaller, but that's pretty cool. So we'll put that there for a second, and I'll go get some of the good ones. Let me bring those back over here. So I had 2 that went bad, and 3 that stayed good. And, so, yeah. Looks like something's been biting into this one now that I see it. Looks like something's getting into this on here in my left hand. So, you know, even though you finally get them pollinated and they're growing and growing, doesn't mean that they're still not vulnerable to attack by bugs. You know, so you still gotta protect your babies, huh? So I still have another 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5, maybe 6 pumpkins still growing that are real babies, you know. So they'll be out here and still doing their thing. The rest of the vines and stuff are dying off, and I'll have to cut out. I'll have to go and start doing some more cleanup. And so you can see the color difference, you know, in these different varieties. Here you have with your Howden and Mr. Wrinkles, you got your regular orange, and then when you get to the Cinderellas, they have a more of a reddish orange coloring to them when they're finally done. So I got 5 there that survived, 2 over there that didn't. They, you know, but if I would have gotten to them sooner and cut them off, I could have saved those too. I'm sure. So this is from Pittman's Pumpkin Patch, Pittman's Garden Patch. I'll talk at you later. Bye.